Good evening or night, depending on where you are. Bipeds, hello. Stephen Sashen here from xeroshoes.com and xeroshoes.eu and xeroshoes.co.uk. And this is our monthly Ask Me Anything where you can, ask me anything. And literally everything from anything about Xero shoes or minimalist or barefoot footwear in general, how to make that transition to using those products, how to enjoy them for walking, running, lifting, hiking, yoga, CrossFit, whatever it is you like to do, and to do those things enjoyably and effectively and efficiently, or what I'm having for dinner, or how my dog is, or whatever you can think of. I'm here to answer those questions. This is a live event, so that means you can put in your comments and questions, etc., below. I will see them over there on my screen. So when I'm looking over there, now you know why. And then I'll answer those live, like this one from Edgar. Hey, does Xero Shoes have shoes for a boardroom setting, aka dress shoes? The closest thing that we have right now is the black version of our Glenn, Glenn. So it's a leather shoe that's pretty much all black. You can get an all black one. And that's the closest thing we have right now. If you're looking for something different kind of dress shoe, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback. That hopefully you can see is in the little comments below, or then the little sub thing below, right where I'm kind of pointing. And that's a place to leave suggestions or feedback. And if you want a dress shoe, what would be dreamy is if you send some links or photos of the kind of thing you're looking for, because there's lots of different styles of dress shoes. So that would be super, super helpful if you put that in there. By the way, for anyone who's new, who doesn't know what Xero Shoes is all about, let me give you the world's fastest little intro to that. And really, what we're doing, it's not about footwear. It's about optimal human functioning. So I like to ask people some silly sounding questions like, is weaker better than stronger? And the answer is no. Or is numbness better than feeling? No. Is being restricted better than being free? No. Is, what's another good one? Those are some good ones. Oh, is being out of balance better than being aligned? No. So you put those together, and if you look at regular shoes, they do all the wrong side of those. So I don't have one here to use as a sample, unfortunately, because I'm at home instead of my office. They squeeze your toes together with a pointy toe box. They elevate your heel, which messes with your posture. You have to adjust with your ankles, your knees, your hips, your back. That puts strain on those things. They are stiff and don't let your feet move. You have a quarter of the bones and joints of your whole body in your feet and ankles. You're supposed to bend and flex and move. Not letting them do that, that's a problem. Because like put a cast in your arm, it gets weaker. Put your foot in something that doesn't let it move, it gets weaker too. Research shows up to 17% weaker in as little as 7 weeks. Conversely, letting your feet bend and flex and move, research shows that just walking in a minimalist shoe builds foot strength as much as doing an exercise program. So there's that. What else did I say? Restriction, freedom. Oh, that toe thing is one. So like squeezing your toes versus letting your toes spread, messing with your posture, not being able to feel. Oh, and not being able to feel. So that's another one. If you have a shoe with a thick sole, then you can't feel anything. You have more nerve endings in the soles of your feet than anywhere but your fingertips and lips. So your brain knows what you're stepping on or stepping in. So it can help you move across whatever that terrain is by starting with moving your feet. So anyway, what we do here at Xero Shoes is try to let your feet do their job so the rest of your body can do its job. And I'll show you how in a second, but I'll answer the questions first. Jay Maynard says, my wife would like to know what products you use in your hair. Happily, nothing. If I had to do anything to take care of this, I would shave it off. And my wife said she would leave me if I shaved my head. So I don't do that. Every now and then I'll do a little leave-in conditioner of some sort, but by and large, this is pretty much the way it is. And this is after being in the wind, so it's a little wind blown. Thomas Andrew, 1942, Pre-Neo wide. So leave that as a suggestion. Now, two things about width. Oh, yeah, where to begin? So width is a three-dimensional thing. In other words, whether a shoe fits is about volume, not two-dimensional measurements. So we've had people who have a wide foot but lower volume who find our things too wide. We have people with a high volume foot that's too narrow who find our, wide, low volume, seems too wide. High volume but narrow, too wide, and everything in between. The second thing about fit is it depends on the shoe, so and the materials in the shoe. So leather or canvas will stretch more than just a regular shoe with a mesh, but even this will stretch over time. So we've seen people sometimes say, hey, you made your shoes more narrow, and they're comparing something they've been wearing 2 years for something that's brand new. It's like, no, the brand new one started just like that one. But if you're looking for something wider, then leave that as a suggestion. To be totally candid, that gets really tricky we're not a huge company. And so making any new product costs many tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the real issue there is how many people are okay with that or need that. Because if we're spending that money here, we can't spend it for the majority of the bell curve. I mean, our shoes fit more of the bell curve of volumetric sizing than almost any other brand. And so if you make things too wide, it doesn't work for the people who have narrow feet and vice versa. So we're trying to thread the needle, and we have actually, of making things as wide as we can for all of that. So anyway, leave that as a suggestion, xeroshoes.com/feedback. Chef Nigel TV, I love the Xero Prio SR. That's the slip resistant. I work 13 hours in a kitchen and the traction needs more grip. Is that possible to improve that in the next edition? Reach out to our customer happiness team, let them know what's going on. We've heard other reports that, it's been totally fine. So, but we'd have to get some more information from you to be able to answer that question intelligently. JJAZUOS. Any updates on the safety toe work boot? No, it's a simple answer. We have another project, frankly, that we're working on that has a much bigger chance of making our company grow dramatically. So that's getting our attention at the moment, but we're still working on it. Just that we've had to move things around a little bit because of an opportunity that is frankly huge. Wish I could tell you more, but I can't. Edgar, what's the function of the heel cup on the Z Trail EV? For some people, it helps keep stuff out from falling into the sandal. For some people, it lets them know where their heel is in relation to the sandal so that they know how to adjust it properly. For some people, it helps keep their foot centered. So that's why it's on there. Doesn't, not perfect for everyone because nothing is, but that's why it's on there. Cristobal says, nice. Don't know what you're referring to because once I say something, it's out of my head. And if your comment comes in after that, long gone from my brain. Jeff Aker, loved your last sale and the Dylan slip-on shoes I got. Stylish, super comfy. Thanks so much. My pleasure. Peter Cunningham, any chance planning to make a steel toe boot? Peter, the answer is yes, we are planning. But like I was just saying, some other things are taking precedence at the moment. Thomas Andrew, 1942. I'm gravitating to be Lincoln for their wide toe box. I want to keep buying Xeros. May have to stick to the Speed Force. If the Speed Force is okay with you, a lot of our other shoes will be as well because it's made with the exact same last, the mold that we make the shoe around. So it's just a function of how much that stretches for you. So do with that what you will. Any plans for a website update? Yes, but those things take a bunch of time. And so we've got if you go to xeroshoes.co.uk, look at our UK website, you'll see some ideas about things that we're playing with, just FYI. Thomas Andrews still waiting on the, and Stephen, we trust 100% cotton t-shirts. First of all, people hate 100% cotton. That's one of those things, but it is pretty entertaining. And I would have to spell that with a V. I'm a V, not a PH. Jeff, any updates on dress slip-on men's shoe, like a loafer? No, actually, or at least not in my head. Go to xeroshoes.com/feedback and ask about that. Like say that's what you're looking for. Throw some links to things that you would like that are examples. Edgar says, thank you. Thomas is updating his PH to a V for Stephen. Jazz, any shoes suitable for individuals with extremely wide feet due to bad bunions? Ultra seem to work best for me, looking for a minimal shoe that works for my really bad bunions. Again, this is one of those three-dimensional things. You might have a bunion and be wide, but lower volume. And so look, here's the story. We're at a trade show and a guy says, I have a 4EE foot. Will your shoes fit? We said, probably not. He said, let me try. And they fit perfectly. He was trying on the HFS and the Speed Force, which I'll talk about in a second. And they fit him fine because he had a wide foot two-dimensionally, but a low volume foot, low foot vertically, wide two-dimensionally. And volume is what makes something fit, not a two-dimensional width. So the best thing I can say is you'd have to give it a shot. I don't really have an answer. We've had a lot of people who have bunions who are fine in our shoes, but everyone's a little different. So one thing you might want to do is take a picture of your foot next to a ruler, step on a piece of paper even maybe, and a ruler, send that to our customer happiness team. You can see down here, hopefully down there, support@xeroshoes.com and ask what their opinion is. Monica, will the Mary Jane style be restocked soon? I love them and I need black ones. I don't know the answer to that because that's more info than I can keep in my head. Drop an email to support@xeroshoes.com and also ask them, are there any, quote, hiding in the warehouse? Jeff said dress shoes, you were correcting. I got that. John Ellis says, love your podcast. Hi, Stephen, love your podcast. If you don't know, I've got a podcast because who doesn't? In fact, I'm getting sick of everyone having their podcast. Everyone's got a podcast. If you want to hear more about how sick of that I am, go listen to my podcast. So it's called The Movement Movement. You can just search for it, or you can go to our website, jointhemovementmovement.com. Peter, looking forward to the update to the Colorado. Looking forward to the Colorado update. It'll be in the spring, probably next spring, unfortunately. Really, really cool, really, really neat, but we couldn't get it out in time for this spring. We might, I don't know if we'll be able to do it in the summer. I'm not sure. John, are we any closer to creating a tactical boot? So if you mean like literally tactical that would be good for the Army and could be standard issue, that's not going to happen. If you mean a tactical style boot, I don't have an answer for that one either. But again, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback. Say that's what you're looking for. Links to some things that are similar to what you want, because there's lots of different tactical boots, different heights, different styles, different colors, different everything. So give it a shot there. Chef Nigel, any teaser for the fall 24? Please, I would love to, but I literally can't remember. We just finished launching spring 24, so that's on my brain. A lot of transitional stuff happening in the company, so I just don't have that in my mind at all. As we get a little further into the summer, ask me that, and I'll be able to do it, because some people who've been on these calls before know I can't keep a secret. So if it's in my head, it'll come out of my face, but if it's not there, it's not there. Chris, is your website under construction? Some things aren't working. What things aren't working? Because no, it's not under construction, and it's been working fine for, well, we've had not that specific site, but the platform running that site for 12 years. So I'm not aware of anything going wrong. If you can give me something more specific, then I can look into it. Chris, I listened to your podcast with Barefoot Ken Bob. Great conversation. Both of you guys were great. Thanks. That was a lot of fun. And John says, thanks, will do. I'm assuming that's about the leaving feedback. Okay. So I didn't get to it before. I was talking about how Xero shoes are designed to let your feet do their job so your body can do its job. And for the people who don't know, let me show you what that means. So first, a wider foot-shaped toe box so your toes can spread and relax, do what's natural. By the way, this is the Speed Force. I've been wearing this better part of a year. I train and compete in this. I'm a competitive sprinter. Barely any wear on that. More about that in a second. So wider foot-shaped toe box, so your toes can spread and relax. Low to the ground for balance and agility. We don't elevate your heel because that messes with your posture and screws up your gait in a very interesting way that I'll mention in a sec for the fun of it. We have a removable, in almost all of our shoes, removable 2 to 3 millimeter sock liner or insole. Take it out if you want a more barefoot feeling. Keep it in if you feel like you need a little more protection. The soles of our shoes are designed for traction and protection, but also that ground feeling that your brain needs to know how to move your body effectively, efficiently, and enjoyably. And it's also backed with a 5,000-mile sole warranty. So we back up our products. We know nothing is perfect. Things do wear out, but we want to keep things out of landfills. The best thing we can do for the environment is make things last longer. So that's why our soles have a 5,000-mile sole warranty. Did I leave anything out? Oh, crazy lightweight compared, especially in general, and compared to other shoes. So this is the Speed Force. It's the closest thing to barefoot that we make. It's what I run in, train in, compete as a sprinter in, walk around in. It's my favorite shoe that I wear. We've had people who have done this with the Speed Force, but also some of our other shoes. They've said that they're so light and comfy, they literally went to bed forgetting they were wearing them. We had a sales guy who was at a trade show. He went to lunch and was about to finish up lunch, thinking, I better get back to the booth, so I better put my shoes back on. And then they were already on his feet. Just didn't even know. So anyway, that's what we're all about. And if you don't know, check out our websites. You can see the links down there. If you're in the EU, xeroshoes.eu. If you're in the UK, xeroshoes.co.uk. Anywhere else, xeroshoes.com. And you'll see we have over 55 styles of casual and performance shoes, boots, and sandals that people use for pretty much anything you can think of. So that's that pitch. I'm going to come back to, what did I say? Oh, why elevating your heel messes with your walking. John says, last question. We'll see. How's your sprinting going? I don't know yet because I didn't get to race during the indoor season, unfortunately. I was out of town for some things. We got snow on a couple of weekends where it made it too difficult to drive down to the race. The outdoor season hasn't started yet. It's starting beginning of June typically. But I will tell you, I have a friend, and I did a podcast episode with him, both me on his and him on mine. And his name is Doug Adams from Run DNA. They do gait retraining, gait analysis and retraining. And he gave me a cue that I'm going to give to you guys too, because I think you'll like it. And the cue changed my running. I mean, demonstrably changed my running. And I know this because Nicholas Romanoff, who created what he calls pose method running, videotaped me a couple of years ago, and he identified a little bit of form problem that I had. Basically, when my foot hit the ground, the foot that hits the ground, my back knee should be aligned with my front knee, or even a little bit in front of it, and it was a little behind. So he says that means you're basically taking too long to get into the position to push off properly. And when he videotaped me a couple months ago, on the nose, here's the cue. When your foot comes off the ground, I want you to imagine kneeing a soccer ball, or if you're in the UK or somewhere not US, the football, kneeing a football towards somebody in front of you. Now, this is a weird cue because in order to knee something forward, it's not about just what you do after your foot comes off the ground. You have to get your foot off the ground the right way, which means you have to get your foot on the ground the right way. Might not work for you, but see what that cue does for you. Kneeing a soccer ball off the ground. There's more to it than that, but let's just see what that does if you decide to play with it. Vincent asked like 20 questions in a row, so let me see what I can do here. Vincent, great to catch you here. Love your shoes and your enthusiasm. Questions coming. Ridgeway Mesh Low versus the Mesa Trail 2. Quick rundown, completely different shoe. The Ridgeway Mesh Low, totally different sole, and versus the Mesa Trail 2. We made the Ridgeway to be more of the kind of shoe you could take on a trail and then just wear around casually, or just wear around casually. It's still very trail friendly, a little heavier than the Mesa Trail 2. So those are the key things. Any chance to get CAD files for insoles to design and 3D print them? Not likely, because it's different for different shoes. If you want to talk about what you want to make, I would recommend reaching out to our product team. The best way to do that is email support@xeroshoes.com. Say you'd like to get in touch with the product team about 3D printing insoles or things that you have ideas. But the biggest problem, frankly, with 3D printing is the materials are typically way too stiff for what you would want to use, unless you're making a rock plate. But I haven't seen materials that are flexible enough that would also hold up to what you do when you put them under your feet. But anyway, give it a shot. Any chance of an all canvas or knit SR style, like the Prio All Day SR, but knit? Yes is the best thing I can say. I don't know when that's happening, but again, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback and make that recommendation. Another one, Dylan in black or white is not sold out in Europe for a long time now. Is not sold out or is sold out in Europe for a long time? Any quote on that? I'm assuming it's sold out and you're waiting for more. I don't know. If you're in Europe, send an email actually to support@xeroshoes.eu and ask them that question. So for the first part about the SR, Xero Shoe, and for wait, hold on, let me do this in order. For the CAD file, support@xeroshoes.com. For the canvas SR, xeroshoes.com/feedback. For when something's coming back into stock in the EU, support@xeroshoes.eu. Okay, there we go. Jason, I bought 4 pairs of Xero Shoes in the past 5 weeks. Thanks. The new Ridgeway Mesh Low were my first, and then I got the Dylan slip-ons, then the Prio Neo last week, the Zellens. Now you're about to start a competition for who has the most that they personally wear, or then if you could do family. So 4 is awesome. Thank you so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. Ginger, please bring back the original HFS. That's a conversation that we're having even as we speak. Apparently Vivo's doing 3D printed shoes. Yep, they are. They are, how do I want to put this? Adidas was doing 3D printed midsoles, and they had to shut down the factory because they couldn't make very many. The cost was very high and the function was not great. So there's a lot of things. Let me just say this. I haven't tried that shoe, so I don't know anything about it other than what I can say about ideas in general. There's lots of things that sound great or sound cool, but then when you get them, different thing. Again, I'm not commenting on that shoe because I haven't put it on my foot, but there's, 3D printing is very interesting. It doesn't scale, and the materials are also, let's just say, interesting at the moment. So, but anyway, that's cool that they're doing it. I like that they have a little more money than we do, and they frankly don't seem to need to be as profitable as we are to be able to buy inventory the next year. It seems. I can't tell. So a little tricky is all I can say. Anyway, moving on. A lot of questions. From Larry, have we thought about a rubber boot geared towards men who work in the yard, have a kennel, have to deal with mud? So that would be like a men's version of our Gracie. Again, xeroshoes.com/feedback and leave that request. I've made that request. Leave that for them. Deneen, I love all my Xeros, getting rid of all my others, deciding which styles to order next, finding they're the first First shoes I can wear all day. Been literally mostly barefoot for about 6 months. That's cool. Chris, what's your favorite Xero model of all time? This is one of those Sophie's Choice things, which totally unrelated. I've always wanted to do a sketch that's like a spoof on Sophie's Choice. So it's a woman and her 2 children, and there's, like some evil person and saying, well, okay, you can live, but if you're going to live, we're going to have to take one of your children. Okay, that one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I was going to say one of your children and kill him. Yeah, that one. Wait, Mom, I thought I was the one you liked the best. Yeah, I just say that to you. So anyway, that's my world's shortest version of a SNL sketch about Sophie's Choice. The answer to your question, which one? Wait, and I skipped a question from somebody. Adam, thanks, man. I hope to see it soon and definitely on the buy list. All right, yeah, that's that. Favorite model. I'm going to have, it depends on my mood. Like the Speed Force is what I wear most of the time when I'm wearing shoes because I train in it and race in it as a sprinter. And I also help design it. The Z Trail is what I wear a lot in the summer. So that's a favorite. The original DIY kit, I wear those too. So of course that's a favorite because it was the first thing we ever did. The Alpine in the winter, amazing when it was 15 below zero and we had a bunch of snow on the ground, wore that without socks, felt totally fine. I mean, I could literally keep going. They're all my children. Larry, have you ever thought about making a wrestling shoe or boxing shoe? Or since they're already zero drop, so there's no market. There is a market actually, because the problem with those wrestling shoes, the soles aren't great. They wear out really, really quickly. So we've looked into it. Again, it's one of those things where the market is smaller and we have to currently, because we don't have millions and millions of dollars behind us, we have to make decisions based on what's going to give us the biggest bang for the buck and help the most people. So, but again, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback and leave those suggestions. Deneen, barefoot until you tried Xero Shoes. It'd be cool to incorporate grounding technology. The problem with grounding, I'm going to do the shorter version of this because there's a long version. To make something that is electrically conductive, you are compromising the integrity of the product is the best thing I can say. The worst thing could happen is whatever you're using for grounding, it would have to be metallic, could puncture through the sole and go into your foot in an unpleasant way. Now we have had people take our shoes and take a rivet or a grommet and punch that in the sole, knock yourself out. Or you could just, touch anything grounded anytime during the day and you'll get the same effect from there. I think you should have more advertisers that are heavy. Oh, I'm over 300 pounds. I can have them all day with no pain like regular shoes. So we do have some, but that doesn't mean you'll see it. We have a lot of people of every different size and shape and color, and you're not going to see all of our ads. We have no way of targeting ads with heavy people to heavy people. There's no way to do that, but we've heard lots and lots of stories from people like you. Some are just heavy. Some are heavy because they're professional athletes who are heavy, like professional weightlifters, powerlifters, football players, etc. So yeah, we actually, on my podcast, I did an interview with horrible names. This is so embarrassing, but I can't do it. I was just at my 40th college reunion, and there were so many people who I'm going, I do not remember your name at all. And so names fly out of my head. But anyway, Martinez from the Slow AF Run Club. So he's over 300 pounds, and a lot of people in that group are and love our shoes. So yes, we are making more of those too. In fact, hey, look, wait, a lot of customers are coming in. I'm going to try and get to them. So Larry, you can be the ad. So get a bunch of pictures and videos with you and submit those, and you can be our next heavier ad. So that, which will be dreamy. Name you gave me. I have an idea, self-healing shoes. There are some materials that people are using that are self-healing, but not for footwear yet. So there's an idea there. Denise, love the new color options you added lately. The only problem is it makes it harder to decide. No, it makes it easy to decide. Get them all. Richard, customer happiness team is pretty unavailable in Europe. They are hyper responsive to email. And in fact, every email you send them, you should get an auto response back saying, we got your email, and we'll respond within, like 24 hours or over the next business day, because typically they are responding within a business day. So check your spam folder. I can tell you 99 times out of 100, when someone has sent an email and said, we didn't hear back, check your spam folder, and there it is. If you're calling, if you're not getting an answer, Another one, people said, I called and didn't get an answer. I go, did you leave a voicemail? And they go, no. I go, leave a voicemail if you're calling. So that would be the thing I would recommend. They're actually often more responsive than xeroshoes.com just because of how much volume we get at xeroshoes.com versus xeroshoes.eu. You could also drop an email to xeroshoes.com and we can forward it just to make sure it gets to the right person. Support at xeroshoes.com and forward it. But I know they're super responsive. So I don't have a good answer for you, unfortunately. Would you make a steel toe work boot? This has come up repeatedly on our to-do list is the best thing I can say. Go to xeroshoes.com/feedback. Tell them you're looking for it, because the more people who say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, the higher the likelihood we'll do it. But here's the problem with steel toe or composite toe or protective toe work boots. Some people need something certified. Some people don't care if it's certified. If we're in the EU, it has to be certified. The certification process can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we have to be really sure that we're doing the right thing for as many people as possible. So let us know exactly what you need in a protective toe work boot. Larry, go back on Shark Tank for more money. They actually approached us about a year and a half ago to repitch. And I think we were just too rich for their blood, because when we were on the show originally, and if you haven't seen it, go to xeroshoes.com/Shark Tank. Then, or look on the CNBC YouTube channel for Shark Tank misses. They called us one of the biggest misses that the Sharks made. When we were first on the show, we were asking for $400,000 for 8% of the company. When I repitched, we were looking for $4 million for 10% of the company. And we knew that was going to be a little rich for their blood. We are trying to get a follow-up, though, because we are one of the most successful post-Shark Tank companies, especially that didn't get a deal. And the idea that just being on the show can be helpful, because it was so helpful for our business, not just because of the sales, but when Lena and I decided to apply to be on the show and they said they were interested, it made us really, really get clear about what we were trying to do and why we were trying to do it. And the comments and complaints and criticism we got from the Sharks is what made us what we are today in many, many ways. So we're trying to get a follow-up. Grizzly just received an email. The TerraFlex 2 has shipped. Do I have experience with the shoe? I have experience with all the shoes. Do you have a specific question? And I will answer it if you have it. I ran in my Mesa Trail 2 days after I switched to the HFS for road run, suffered pain in my calves. Did I transition too early from regular shoes to Xero? I can't answer that because I don't have enough specifics, but what I can tell you is this. If you go to our website and search for calf pain is optional, in fact, wait, I'm going to do it now. Calf pain is optional, Xero shoes. Let me see if I can find that. Yep. I think this is it. Let me see if this works. I got a couple places where we've done this, but let me give you this one. I'm going to give you a response. Let's see, how can I do this? I don't know how to respond. Oh, here we go. Reply. There's a reply. And I think there's another one too. Hold that thought. There's another one. Barefoot Lies. In my Barefoot Lies series. So let's put this in here. Let me find this one. There's a video series that I'm going to put this in a comment for everybody instead of just a reply. Let's do that. I think this is doing this correctly. Check that out too. So the simple answer is hard for me to tell without more information. But what I can tell you is that it may not be switching too early, but just doing too much too soon. And you want to work on relaxing more. You don't need to use look, if you look at a lot of professional runners, they have really skinny calves. And so it's not about just, the soreness. It feels like muscular soreness, like you went to the gym and too many bicep curls. Get the hint. You just did too much running at that time. The second thing is, when you're running, think about, instead of pushing off the ground, think about lifting your foot off the ground by flexing your hip. The image that I like to use because it's fun is, if you imagine stepping on a bee, you don't push off the ground because that'll put the stinger further in your foot. You reflexively flex your hip, you pull your knee up, and that pulls your foot off the ground. You want that same idea. Or the cue that I gave before, that I got from my friend Doug Adams, is imagine that the way your foot's coming off the ground is so you can knee a soccer ball in front to somebody in front of you. That'll change the way you're getting your foot off the ground and might use your calf less. So you want to work on relaxing more and instead of using your calf more. And you will get stronger, and that will some of that will go away also, I'm guessing. Commercial airplanes have some kind of metal infused tires. Can you do that with shoes? I don't know. I'd have to look into that, but probably not, because most likely it's going to be some sort of mesh that flexes, and it's going to make things really heavy, and it's going to make things not bend as much as you would want, is my guess. But I don't know. Send some more info to me, and I can look into it. What the hell? Denise says, thanks for the explanation. I have no idea what I was talking about, so that's cool. Monica says, love that conversation with the Slow AF Run Club. Thanks. Any update on the Aqua X Sport with a road sole? No, I don't remember when that's happening. We are doing it, but I don't remember if it's for the fall or if it's going to be a midsummer drop or the spring of next year. I just don't know, unfortunately. Don't have an answer. No response. Triple check the address. Tried both from Outlook and Gmail. They just simply don't pick up the phone. Again, if you want to work for us, drop them an email, ironically. But for the email, I'm again really perplexed because we have an autoresponder set up. Whenever you send an email, something goes right back automatically. Might be getting blocked at the server side. So I don't know. But drop an email to support@xeroshoes.com. Let them know you're having a hard time getting through. They'll forward it to the right person, and then they can look into what's going on. Corey says, thanks. I don't know why, but you're welcome. Matt Abrax says, hey, can you recommend a documentary about the importance of feet first shoes? Matt is someone who has done video for us, so he is taunting me. It's something we want to do, and I'm actually talking to a number of people about that. But Matt, I had an idea for something that I wanted to do with you, and now I don't remember what it is, but ping me. Let's have that conversation. Larry H., I've seen it. I bet they're kicking themselves now. Oh, the CNBC thing. Thanks. There's some comments from me. Peter, I think if you went on Shark Tank today with all the different shoes and sandals, you'd do better because all you had was sandals at the time. Yeah, but the problem now is the amount of money we'd need to make a difference is so large that it's way past the Sharks' interest. So, but you're right. I mean, if we had been on with more products we did 3 months worth of sales in the week following that being on that show 11 years ago. If we had 3 months worth of sales now, that would be massive. So again, we're trying to get a follow-up because I keep pitching the producer saying to him that, if it weren't for Shark Tank, we'd be where we are today. And I think that's a message that would be fun to share. So we'll see if he ever decides to do that. Do you sponsor Coop with Garage Room Reviews? I notice he wears your shoes and has a huge channel. It's even funnier than that. No, we don't sponsor him. We sent him some shoes to review, and his original review was like, yeah, they're okay. And now he's wearing stuff all the time. And I've reached out saying, oh my God, you're wearing stuff all the time. We should chat. And I haven't heard back. So I love Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and I love his reviews. And it would be fun if we could find a way to do even more together. So we'll see what happens. Holy moly, I made it to the end of the questions. So, hey, I'm going to, just because I don't want to, keep you here all evening. Happily, the weather has changed and I can do this in my home with the windows instead of having to turn on a overhead light and another light and a whole bunch of lights. So that makes me really happy. But I'm the guy who makes dinner, so I want to go and do that so my wife and dog can have their dinner. So I'm going to do just a reminder about a couple of things, and if you have any last second questions, I'll answer those, and then we're out of here. First of all, Grizzly says Terraflex 2 for lots of sharp mountain rocks. Terraflex 2 is a great shoe. So, I like everything we make. You know that. So is the Scrambler Low or the Scrambler Mid or anyway, lots of things. So quick reminder, if you're in the EU, go to xeroshoes.eu. If you're in the UK, go to xeroshoes.co.uk. If you're anywhere else, go to xeroshoes.com. If you have any questions or problems, go to email support@xeroshoes.com. If your shoes are having a problem, remember we have a 5,000-mile sole warranty and a 24-month manufacturer's warranty. Manufacturing is never perfect, so we're going to stand behind things and help you out as best as we can. If you have any feedback for our product team or suggestions about products that you want that are new products, then go to xeroshoes.com/feedback and tell us what new product you're looking for. And ideally leave links or links to pictures of what you're talking about so we can get an idea of what you mean. Because I've often found what people say they want and what people actually want are very different things, the way they're describing them. If you just have a recommendation for something that you want different in a shoe, just, leave that advice as well. And we're happy to take a look. We're always looking for your advice is the bottom line. A couple things. Deneen says, really great that you spend the time to personally interact with your shoe fans here. I don't think it's too surprising to say that, and it's probably obvious that I enjoy this. So it's my pleasure. And it's really helpful for me as well as the rest of the company, just to hear what people are saying in real time. So that's one of the reasons I do it. And Buffalo Mind, can you see a time where team sports adopt barefoot shoes? Yes. is all I'm legally allowed to say at the moment. Let's just say we are the footwear provider for a number of Olympic teams, Olympic archery, Olympic artistic swimming, which is formerly synchronized swimming. Obviously, they don't wear our shoes in the pool, but they wear them everywhere else, and they wear them when they're training and working out to help build foot strength and for active recovery. And there's some Olympic ice hockey players who swear by wearing our stuff as soon as they get off the ice. This, by the way, this is a thing you can say to people who like think you're crazy about barefoot shoes. Look, run in whatever you want, hike in whatever you want, do whatever you want in your performance shoes, but then get out of them and into something like this that lets you have active recovery, lets your toes spread, and research shows that just wearing and walking in a minimalist shoe builds foot strength as much as doing an exercise program. And research shows that same exercise program can reduce the risk of running injuries by 250% over the course of a year. So, do whatever you want in your big, thick, padded things, get out of them quickly into something that can make your feet better. And it'll make those other shoes last longer. And those things are expensive. Back to the team sports thing. We are hearing from more and more professional teams that they are wearing our shoes when they're in the gym or just walking around or training or warming up. Some of them a lot of those guys have footwear contracts that are very pricey, and we don't have that kind of money. But we've also got some guys who are saying, don't need the money. How can I help? So yes, I can see that time. I've been able to see that in my mind for years, and it's starting to happen. Buffalo Mind gave me a thumbs up and a sweet. Chef Nigel, besides running, I'm also an avid cyclist. Will we do cycling shoes in the future? It depends on what you mean by cycling shoes. There's mountain biking shoes. There's road biking shoes. There's things that are clipped in. There's things that are not clipped in. So you need to be a little more specific. But we also have some big cyclists on our product team. And let's just say this. We also sponsor the Novo Nordisk cycling team. These are cyclists with diabetes. And a couple of them, they swear by our shoes, again, once they get out of their cycling shoes. But we had another team that we worked with here in town, here in Boulder, which is not where I'm actually living. I'm outside of Boulder. But anyway, that they were clipped in, finished a training run, put their cleats back in their, I can't think of words anymore, jersey, there we go, and switched into the Prio. And we're riding home and we're noticing they were putting out more watts after a training ride in the Prio than when they were clipped in. And I have a theory about why, and we're trying to find a way to test that theory. So we'll see. Road clip-on. Leave that as a suggestion at xeroshoes.com/feedback. Am I a broken record or what? Yes, because I keep bringing this up, and our product team kind of keeps forgetting of doing the little test that I want to do to see if there's a there. My prediction is if it does what I think it does, we will be forcing people to refit their bikes, because they're going to be using their feet differently than they currently are, in a way that can be beneficial, in a way that is going to force you to change the geometry of how you're on your bike. That's my prediction. Bradley used the Prio as a dojo shoe. Happy to hear that. Some people use the Speed Force too. Matt says, thanks, I'll be in touch. Say hi to Lena, I'll do that. Work boots yet? Gary, just rewind. No, not yet. If we had them, you'd all know about it. This would not be something I'd be keeping secret. Trust me. Still working on it. Have some other things that are taking precedence at the moment. Dennis, but again, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback and remind everyone you're looking for that. That's how they know what to do. Dennis, walk comfortably around theme parks for 4 days. My Prio Neo. Nice. Shout out to other Xero wearers that week. Sweet. Gary says, LOL. Yeah, I know. I get it. All right. First of all, I'm going to get out of here, but I want to thank you all for being here. It's a total pleasure. I have to tell you, one of the things that I have a little counter for how many people are on this, and the counter keeps going up every time I do this. So it's great. Spread the word. It's fun. Oh, what's your favorite Naboso product? I don't have a favorite because I've used them all. I mean, I like our Naboso trail shoe, where we took the Naboso insole material and put that in a trail shoe. And I've got these sitting right here. This is the one that's different on each side. And so I play with that one as well. I think they're all really cool. I don't have a great answer. And Tanine, I think you missed a couple of your emojis didn't show up as emojis, but I get the point. Anyway, once again, I got to back up and say this. When my wife and I started this company 14 and a half years ago, on the floor of a corner of a spare bedroom, we literally never imagined this would be anything more than like a car payment. And very quickly we realized that's not what was going to happen. It was going to be a whole different game. But we literally never imagined we would be here now 14 and a half years later with the number of products we have, with the number of people that we have helped around the world, with an office in Europe, with an office that we're going to, other offices we're going to be opening around the world. But more importantly, we are so, so grateful for all of your support. Half of our orders come from existing customers. And out of the other half, a big chunk of those come from people that you've interacted with, that you've bumped into on the street who are also wearing Xero shoes. You have had a conversation, or that you've been willing to talk to when someone says, hey, are those Xero shoes? Or, hey, did I see those on Shark Tank? Or, hey, what are those? If it weren't for all of you, we wouldn't be here. And could not be more grateful. I say to people all the time, if you have an opportunity, if you have to start a business and you utter the 5 dangerous entrepreneurial words, how hard could this be? I hope you're doing something that changes people's lives, whether it's just giving something more comfortable or literally changing their lives for other reasons, because otherwise there's no reason to do this. It's a lot of work. It's really stressful. I haven't had what's the word? Vacatone, one of those things where people don't work for some number of days. Haven't had that in 14 and a half years. So, and happily because of what we've been able to do with all your help. So anyway, just wanted to share that. And now some quick things came in, so I got to do this. Hey, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the algorithms so more people can see. Thank you. Do that. Ballroom dance shoes too. Go to xeroshoes.com/feedback. Kathleen, Judy, I love your story, y'all's story, because you're in the South. I was just in the South. I was at my college reunion in North Carolina this past weekend. Chet, I can't read everything else you're reading. Thanks. Love the products and the team. Joby needs a raise. I pass it on. And Mike Tyson should train in Xero shoes and promote y'all for his upcoming match. That would be a riot. If anyone knows how to get to him, that would be dreamy. All right. I want to call it an evening. Thank you again for everything, for being here, for all your support, for spreading the word, not just about us, but I like to say, we're helping people feel what they've been missing: natural comfort, performance, and health. We just want people to go out and have fun and live life feet first. And until next time,